and a huge night for your career as well.
Massive night for my career. So yeah, victorious 100%. That's my goal, that's my plan, and that's my motivation. So yeah, looking forward to it. Respect to the team. May the best man.
Accusations over the years for a guy who's had no amateur fights. What's he had, about 10 or 12
fights? Yeah.
Fights, I'm not sure what he's had. And, you know, you look at the opposition he's had and people saying, when's he going to fight somebody? He stepped up. He's stepping up to a two-time world champion, a genuine heavyweight, a proper heavyweight champion, and an active fighter. And this is
somebody's teeth falling out. So I told Anthony, I already messaged Anthony as I listened.
It is 10-ounce gloves. It is a boxing match. It's not an exhibition. This isn't a 58-year-old Mike Tyson. This is one of the most dangerous finishers in the world, who is probably 5 levels above Jake Paul.
Netflix is about to stun the combat sports world on December 19th as Jake Paul steps into a real heavyweight. Fight against Anthony Joshua, Olympic gold medalist, former unified world champion, and one of the most dangerous punchers alive. No exhibitions, no shortcuts, 8 rounds, 3 minutes, 10 Oz gloves. Jake Paul, 6 feet 6 inches and 250 pounds, is taking the biggest risk of his career in a truly legitimate heavyweight showdown.
Even if AJ just wants to keep him on the end of a jab, look at the reach. He's got a 6-inch reach on Jake, and trust me, the Chloe concept has told me the 6 inches is more than enough. Okay, so that's going to be a problem. Again, not even talking about the fact that AJ is more dangerous with just his power, but the jab, the reach, the extent, turnover of the right hand, he's going to be able to hit Jake at range. Jake can't even hit him. 43 amateur fights, 32 pro fights. He's 28-4. He's an Olympian. He's a gold medalist. He's won the world title. Delusional, yes, very rich. Yes.
For years, people mocked Jake Paul for fighting smaller or aging opponents, saying he needed someone young, powerful, experienced, and truly elite. Well, now he has exactly that. Anthony Joshua isn't just a big man. He's a generational puncher with world-class pedigree and the kind of power real heavyweights struggle to survive. And yet Jake signed the contract without hesitation, without excuses, without safety nets. He said yes to the hardest, most dangerous version of this fight.
It is a boxing match. It's not an exhibition. This isn't a 58-year-old Mike Tyson. This is one of the most dangerous finishers in the world, who is probably 5 levels above Jake Paul and a weight division above him. I think it's irresponsible to let those two in a ring together in a proper boxing match. That's my view. It doesn't damage his bank balance, but if he earns $70 million for this, are we really going to...
Both fighters are taking huge risks before they even step into the ring. Anthony Joshua has to cut down to under 245 pounds, a weight he hasn't fought at in years, while still maintaining his power and explosiveness. At the same time, Jake Paul has to transform his body fast, jumping from training for smaller exhibition-style opponents to preparing for a true heavyweight war. The physical changes alone make this matchup dangerous, and the fight hasn't even started yet.
Why Anthony Joshua's taking this fight. In my head, I never ever thought this fight would happen. Why? Because of Anthony Joshua's desire to be in the history books, to be a 3-time heavyweight champion of the world. To me, it shows me his desire. Pick up 50 million along the way. Nobody can knock him for this. This is now business. This is business. For Jake Paul, absolutely crazy. Jake Paul is a domestic level professional fighter here in the UK. Would he win a British title? No, I don't think so. So now they're putting this domestic level fighter in with a former heavyweight 2-time champion of the world. The weight is 245. So I think last time Anthony Joshua weighed around that, it was when he boxed Usyk. That means he's got to be fight fit, on point, because his last fight he was 18 stone. I think it was 254 against Danny Dubois. So now he's basically saying you've got to get yourself in position, get yourself fit, and get yourself ready for fight. It's not tiddlywinks. This is a fight. It's not a push and a pull. You know, so as long as it's not a push and a pull, and don't put me down and don't touch me in the build up to this fight. You know, I remember when McGregor and Mayweather, they had this little side deal, don't touch me in the build up to this. If this is a real legitimate fight, Jake Paul is absolutely crazy. If not crazy, he's super brave. And it'll be interesting.
The hype is already out of control, and the first press conference hasn't even happened yet. Fans are completely split. Half the internet is praising Jake Paul is the boldest man alive for taking on a monster like Anthony Joshua, saying boxing needs someone willing to jump weight classes and fight the giants. The other half thinks Jake has finally lost his mind, wondering who looks at a 6'6" powerhouse like Joshua and says, yeah, that's the guy I want to fight. That mix of admiration and disbelief is exactly why this matchup is going viral.
Well, my thoughts on it is that Jake Paul's had a lot of accusations over the years for a guy who's had no amateur fights. What's he had, about 10 or 12
fights, yeah.
Fights, I'm not sure what he's had. And, you know, you look at the opposition he's had and people saying, when's he going to fight somebody? He stepped up. He's stepping up to a two-time world champion, a genuine heavyweight, a proper heavyweight champion, and an active fighter. And this is a big moment for him, and you got to take your hat off to him for that. This fight, as regarding AJ, why I'm sure AJ's wants a fight back after that, that unbelievable loss he had against Daniel Dubois. It's quite an emphatic loss. He wants to come back, get himself. Dip his toe in the water. He's going to get paid a lot of money for this. This fight's going to generate a lot of money because for me, it's a fighter. Jake Paul's going to be a massive underdog against a big favourite, a big odds-on favourite. Can he do it or not? This is a car crash, and people will watch it because that's what people do.
People aren't just talking about it; they're obsessing over it. Every gym, every podcast, every timeline, every barbershop. This is the only fight anyone wants to argue about. It feels less like a matchup and more like a movie plot that somehow leaked into real life.
If Anthony Joshua wants to turn up and just make it look like an exhibition, I don't know what that helps Anthony Joshua do besides get a big paycheck. If that's all he needs and that's all he wants, given the fact that he's been demolished by Daniel Dubois in his most recent fight, I thought Anthony was built of sterner stuff than that.
But many people just want to see Joshua back in a ring, Simon. But they want to see him fight again.
Well, they want to. No, they don't. They want to see him fight a legitimate fighter. They want to see if Anthony Joshua is now done. They want to see if Anthony Joshua being destroyed by Daniel Dubois is the end of the golden boy journey that apparently rebooted British boxing. I don't think it did. I think he was a major figure. I don't think he just rebooted British boxing. I think that's a heavy crown for him to have to wear, but he is a phenomenon. When you go watch Anthony Joshua go into a fight, the atmosphere goes up 20 notches. So that's the expectation he has to carry around. Going against Jake Paul, the only expectation he has is I can't embarrass myself. And I think he's got to be potentially, strapped to.
David Hayes' reaction went instantly viral. The former heavyweight champion looked genuinely stunned, saying Joshua is on a completely different level, physically, mentally, and technically, and that Jake's hardest punch wouldn't even make a Jay blink. Hay even joked that when Joshua hits back, Jake might end up Googling medical centers before he finds his mouthpiece.
Eric said yesterday that he could see Jake leaving in an ambulance. Do you think it's that dangerous of a fight for Jake?
I think this fight, if you get knocked out, there's one thing, Ngannou getting knocked out with one shot. He's a big man. What is he? I don't know, 20 stone. He's an absolute monster. Jake Paul's a cruiserweight. He's a cruiserweight, and when you get hit by someone like Anthony Joshua, it's gonna put you out. And if you get put out, likelihood is you might need to go to the hospital to get a brain scan. Hopefully this isn't the case. He's not going to be dehydrated because it's a heavyweight. I think it'd be more of a quick explosion.
David Hayes' take hits hard because he doesn't completely dismiss Jake. He actually respects the courage. He said Jake signing up to fight Anthony Joshua is like walking into an amusement park and skipping every normal ride, choosing instead the one that launches you upside down into the ocean. It's insane, but it's also the kind of insane bravery boxing rarely sees. Hayes' message is simple. Joshua risks nothing. Jake risks everything.
Quickly for Jake Paul, but it's a brave thing for him. Credit to him. If he is genuinely going to fight Anthony Joshua, mad respect, because on paper it looks terrible for him. It looks like it's a no-win situation. There's nothing he's done in any of his previous fights where you can say, well, if he does this, that's going to work against Anthony Joshua. I think Jake Paul's best shot bounces off Anthony Joshua, and I think the opposite isn't the case. I think AJ gets him out of there very, very comfortably.
Gareth Davies jumps in with brutal honesty, saying Joshua is here for the payday, not legacy, and because this is a fully sanctioned professional fight with real gloves, real rounds, and real weight limits, AJ can't shrug it off if anything goes wrong.
100% respect to Jake Paul, but that's a dangerous fight for him. He probably gets knocked out, and I'm not trying to be a hater. I'm not saying nothing bad, but Anthony Joshua is Anthony Joshua. You know, he's multiple-time champion, Olympic gold medalist. You know what I mean? The last time somebody stepped in the ring with him that didn't have that much boxing experience was Ngannou, and you've seen what happened to him. Yeah. But big respects to Jake Paul. It's gonna be a good card. You know what I mean? It's a big fight. And it's a good fight, man. I give 100% respect to Jake Paul for even taking that fight.
The Ring 4, November 22nd. Watch only on DAZN.
Warns that if Joshua doesn't dominate early, ideally in the first 2 rounds, the backlash will be brutal from fans and the sport itself. If Jake Paul survives or goes the distance, Joshua's reputation takes a hit. But if AJ stops Jake quickly, he earns millions and gains exposure to a huge American audience on a global streaming platform. The stakes are uniquely high and low, at the same time, a rare boxing scenario.
Second round gets obliterated in the same way that Francis Ngannou gets obliterated. Enormous credit to Jake Paul for this, who is putting together the most unique box rec in professional boxing history. Nate Diaz is on his box rec. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. is on his box rec. Mike Tyson is on his box rec. And come December 19th, Anthony Joshua is going to be on his box rec.
And Anderson Silva, remember?
Anderson Silva, one of the greatest MMA fighters of all time. Ridiculous box rec.
Eric Cazorla jumps in and predicts pure carnage. Forget tactics. He's talking raw violence. In classic Cazorla style, he warns that if Joshua doesn't finish Jake within a few rounds, he'll be roasted online forever.
So I told Anthony, I already messaged Anthony as I listen. I tell you what, I said to AJ, if this goes past 5 rounds, everybody's gonna be having a go at you because you can't go past 5 rounds with this kid. He has to go past 1 round or 2 rounds. Past beyond 4 or 5 rounds, you know, people are going to be doubting you as a fighter himself. So he has to smoke him out like what he did Francis Ngannou in Saudi Arabia in 1 round.
Told Anthony straight up. And I said the same thing to Ajay. If this fight goes past 5 rounds, people are going to start questioning him. Because he shouldn't be struggling that long with this kid. He needs to finish it early, 1 or 2 rounds at most. Because once it reaches the 4th or 5th, fans will begin doubting him as a fighter. He has to take him out the same way he took out Francis Ngannou in Saudi Arabia. Quickly, decisively, in just 1 round.
And I think you're dead right. Is he worried about that? Is he worried about what happens, if he doesn't see him off in the first round or the second round?
No, he's not worried about it. He's going to smoke this guy out. I'm not worried about it. I'm going to smoke this guy out properly. I'll be there. He's going to smoke him. I can't wait.
Theoretically, if he comes out swinging, right, AJ should be able to get it done in are we talking 30 seconds? If AJ is giving it everything he's got.
Listen, if AJ comes in there and just blows on this kid, he's going to just drop him to the floor. So I don't really I'm just wasting money going to Miami because I know it's going to be finished in 1 round. So I don't know.
Are you going to go?
Oh, yeah, I'm going to definitely be going to go.
Okay.
I have to be there. It's going to be exciting.
That's it for today, fight fans. Smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications for all the latest boxing updates.